I am Karen Ray. This is Fave Lifestyles. We are a lifestyle brand connecting you to the experts to create your fave life. And today I am just thrilled to have Carole Fontaine here with us for our series on women who inspire. And Carole, welcome to Fave Lifestyles.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'm excited.
Yes, and we would love to know where everyone is coming from today. I am in Whidbey Island in the Pacific Northwest. And Carole, where are you at?
I'm in Arundel, Maine, on the other coast.
On the other coast. I know, it's so fun to have ladies from across the U.S. Joining us today. And today we're going to be talking about simplifying your problems, simplifying your life. Carole is a multi-talented author, graphic designer, certified life coach, meditative writing. Okay, and I'm going to say this word wrong probably. Shakti Dance, dance yoga. Is that correct?
Yeah, Shakti Dance, you got it.
And Reiki Master Teacher who uses her 20 years of living aboard a sailboat to teach, empower mindfulness and spiritual connection. Her inspirational book, Sail Above the Clouds, How to Simplify Your Life, is available on Amazon and other popular platforms. Carole, my goodness, living on a sailboat for 20 years.
I did. 20 fabulous, very eventful years. A lot of adventures, a lot of ups and downs, no pun intended, but yes.
I can tell we're going to have some fun here today. So I have some questions. Living on a sailboat, that's very unusual, and for 20 years. And so how did that come about?
I'm originally from Canada, and we moved to South Florida because we wanted the warmth all year long. We were tired of the snow. We were bikers. We like motorcycles.
Oh.
So motorcycle brought us to Florida. But when we got there, it was too hot. It was so hot. We always ended up at the beach, and we ended up looking out at the beach, and we're like, what else can we do? I got tired of the lifestyle, tired of the partying, tired of the heat. We were looking for something new. So we needed to shift something in our relationship, in our life. And we just sat out there looking at the boats coming out of the jetty one day, and we're like, we need to try this. Let's try this. And we got a little boat for fun as a hobby, which was one of the best summers that we've ever had. It was so much fun. As a matter of fact, that 9 months later, we ended up buying a big boat and moving on it.
So had you had much experience with sailboats prior to that?
Zero. It was our first sailboat was a 25-footer. That was the amount of experience for boating that I had. When we got the 41-foot sailboat that we lived on for 20 years, we did take some classes. We took the Coast Guard classes, the navigation, to really learn, what are we doing? This is a 20-ton boat. We need to figure out what we do. We don't want to sink out there. So no, I had no idea. We were young, we were curious, we were eager to learn, and we wanted to try something new. And we had that adventurous spirit. I'm like, let's try it. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah. So living on a sailboat, tell us, what is that like? And did you sail sail places, or did you have a main port that you docked at, or was it just kind of free for all? Where were you at?
It's a little bit of everything. We weren't rich. We were young, so we needed to have stable jobs. Mm-hmm. So we did have a home port, and then we would take off for like 3 weeks, a month at a time, and come back. On the weekends, every weekend we were out. But we also moved from place to place. My husband, as long as he had a job where in the port of call that we live, we moved from the Central Florida to South Florida to the Keys. So we spent some time in a lot of different places, and it's been an amazing life. And for a while, I worked in an office, but when the internet came and all these tools came about, I started to work as a graphic designer from the boat. So wherever we were at, as long as I had internet, so I was doing it years and years ago, before it was popular, before we had the flip phone. So when we started doing the cruising, was when the GPS, I don't know if you remember if you're a sailor, but the GPS were scrambled for military use because nothing was precise. You still navigated by low RAM. So you didn't have iPhones and GPS in your watch, and you had to know what you're doing. You had paper charts and you had to calculate where you're going. But we learned, we were in it. We really loved every minute of it. And we really, the ocean brought us so much that it was a very passionate adventure.
Yes. So, I mean, that's interesting because as you lived on that, you probably really did document some of the technology advances.
Yes, it was really amazing, especially when I remember when the GPS, the military stopped scrambling it, and all of a sudden you could pinpoint exactly where you were on the map. And that was maybe, I don't know, 15, 18 years ago or so. You know, I can't tell you the exact time, but now, look at us now. We have like a watch that we carry that we could, if I would have had that, it's probably a good thing we didn't have that back then, honestly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So
I might have been in trouble for a few things.
Oh my goodness. So I bet you have some great stories. So do you have one you would like to share with us? You talk a little bit about in your book too, about overcoming chronic disease. Yes. And strength and developing a strength and capacity for love and forgiveness. So how does that fit into your story?
Yes. Well, when we went from our motorcycle riding year into the boating lifestyle, we were looking for something different. I was looking for purpose. I was looking for something that filled my heart. I was looking for passion. I was looking for something more than just going out with your friends and drinking on weekends and partying. I was looking for something that made me feel like this life is amazing, that lit me up. And in the beginning, of course, boating was like that, like anything else that you start in life. But after 5, 6 years, 7, 8 years, you're just living on the boat, bobbing away in a different place. So even in paradise, wherever you're at, the routine sets in. You get bored, you get this, and then you start to maybe lose track of your priorities, lose track of tuning into your heart and say, am I happy? Am I doing what I want? You get into autopilot, just like a boat. You get up, you go to work, you do your thing. On the weekend, you go out, you sail over here, and before you know it, you're depleted, you're depressed, you're not feeling well. And then after a while, what happened is I got sick. I got physically ill, and my symptoms started to snowball. And one doctor led to another, and then I became very inflamed. And I had a lot of symptoms. My uterus was having problem. My liver was having problem. My skin was breaking out. I had a problem with my digestion that was completely throwing all my systems out of whack. So I really had to pause and ask myself, what's going on? And take a step back. And really having that lifestyle and simplifying a lot when we moved on the boat really helped me also look into my life and say, where can I simplify my emotional space, my mental space? Not just once I had done the physical part, I realized, I saw clearly that there was more to that I needed to declutter. There was a lot of stuff that I was carrying, rubbish in my head that I needed to clear. I needed to realign my values, my priorities with what filled my heart with passion, with purpose. And I bless this period of 5 years when I was really, really ill, because it realigned me with that purpose. And it sent me on a search to find out what fills my heart. And that's where it happened.
I love that. Just seeking that what fills your heart. And I do find that a lot of women, especially as they hit that 45, 50 mark, that is a major theme. That they're either in transition, or maybe they've got stuck in that routine and it's just become, okay, what do we do next? What's this next season of life?
It is. We give so much to our family, to our job, to our spouse. We tend to put our needs on the back burner. And that can't happen the whole life. You either become ill or depressed or depleted, and then you have this crisis on your hand. And usually that's your body or your spirit telling you, hey, listen to me.
Let's shake it up.
Shake it up. You need to listen to me. You're out of alignment. You need to align your heart with your goals, with your priority, with what you want in life. So bringing the mindfulness into your life. And my book shares fun adventures and a lot of entertainment.
Yeah. So tell us a story.
Exercise. Yes, it's stories of our 20 years, almost sinking the boat, getting lost in the dark, swimming with sharks, you name it. In 20 years, a lot of things happen.
Okay, so can you share one of your stories with us?
Sure.
Swimming with sharks, that sounds pretty exciting.
Shark, oh my goodness. Well, that's a funny one. Well, there's been many ones, but I'll share one of the first one that I did. Is my husband, we always had a dog on Windsong. So what happened is when we showed up to an island, we would anchor, and then my husband would take the dog and go walk him on the beach. Sometimes I'd go, sometimes I didn't. So we sailed all day. We just showed up to Bahamas. We're tired. We anchor. It's dusk, so it's starting to be darker. So Eric's like, I'm going to run and walk the dog. He says, go and check out. There's some beautiful reefs down there. You're going to enjoy it. And I had an underwater camera at the time. So he said, just follow the anchor, and there's some beautiful reefs there. So I'm putting my gear on, plopping in the water, going down, swimming. La, la, I'm in the Bahamas. Yay. Then I see something move in the corner of my eyes. Like, and I looked down, and it was a huge shark. It was like bigger than me. And I found myself, I was so vulnerable. I was like, holy meat. And then you're in the water, you're away from the boat, and the anchor chain was there going up, from the water all the way up. And my first reaction, camera on hand, was to try to climb up the chain. And I found myself out of breath, screaming, with hanging from the boat chain, my butt in the water. And then realizing that if the shark wanted to eat me, he would have eaten me already. And then I started laughing. I'm like, okay, calm down, Carole. You need to swim back to the boat. That was the fastest swim that I've ever taken. So
I bet.
Swam all the way back to the swimming platform. Jumped myself on the swimming platform. Then I realized I had the camera in my hand, and I never took a picture.
You're too busy surviving.
There's a lot of things that happen. When you're out there, you're really living. Things are happening more in a day than a whole week or a whole month in a regular routine life. So you got to seize the moment. You have to really look at every opportunity, appreciate life. And if there's anything with being sick, is that it really made me appreciate the moments and bringing that mindfulness back into my life. And there's a lot of exercises I share also in the book. Each chapter has the story of an adventure, a life lesson, a journaling question, but also an exercise, a mindfulness exercise, something that you can try at home, whether you're on a boat or not, to just bring more mindfulness, bring fun, align yourself with purpose, anything that try to make your life healthier and happier. And those are all things that I've learned through healing my life after I got sick, but also being on the boat and applying mindfulness. And so when you go through a period when you're sick, or a trauma or a drama, any big life change that happens, we realize that afterwards we want to realign our priorities because we weren't aligned with them. Our values and our priorities were out the door. It was all about either the money, the scheduling, the commitments, the obligation, and all of a sudden we're sick, or someone we love dies, or we lose our job. It's like, oh my God, I didn't like my job anyway, or you realign your life with what really matters, your family first, your health. So I would like people to not have to wait for the drama or the trauma to realign their lives with that, so that they can live a life of purpose and hopefully design their job and their career towards that. So every day feels like a vacation day.
Oh, it's oh, oops, I'm getting a little feedback here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. It sounds like you have some tips and tips for women who walk to find and evaluate this.
I'm having a little hard time understanding what you just said.
Yes, we have.
But I can share something. Let me just share. One thing that I like to share is when I find myself in front of a big change, a life change, something that makes me really uncomfortable. A separation, a new job, a move, something that really calls on you to like, oh my goodness, I don't like this. You want to resist. You feel like this is too much for you. So you respond with some fear because it's outside of your comfort zone. And you'd like to know something that would help you to maybe get clearer on what's going on. I ask myself questions. I teach meditative writing. So I love questions. I love to journal. I usually always meditate before I do. So grab a book, do some breathing exercise, or go take a walk. Or do it in the morning when you just get up and you're very open. Your heart is very open. And then just observe whatever obstacles that stands in your way or situation, and ask yourself, what's the worst thing that can happen if this happens? What's the worst things that happens if this doesn't happen? What's the best thing that happens if you get this, if that happens, that situation happens? And what's the best thing that happens if this doesn't happen? So if you have an obstacle in front of you, what's the best thing that's going to happen if you do resolve the obstacle? Or if you don't? What's the best thing? Or if it does, or if it don't? So those are those are the only 4 options that's going to happen in your life. Whether you get what you want or you don't, whether you're going to like it or not, the good and the bad, and weigh in the scenarios. You have 4 different scenarios. So once you have that clarity in your mind, it's simple. This is going to happen. This is the obstacle. You either have this good thing or this bad thing. And then you are clear on what's going to happen. And I find for me is when I lay it all out and I'm clear on what's happening, I can let go. I can let go. Because it's the fear that keeps me up at night. It's the scenario. It's like, what if this happened? Well, what if this happens? What's the best thing that's going to happen if this happens? Well, you wrote it out. So now that you know, you can stop worrying. You can sleep. You can make plans. You can make these plans for these 4 things, and you can let it go. You can say, you know what? I can let it go. Whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen. I always feel also that resistance, when I find resistance in my life, resistance comes lost jobs, health problems, relationship issues. It's either that I'm not aligned with my priorities or my values, and life is trying to realign myself, or I am aligned with my values, but the thing I'm trying to either get or accomplish is not. So I'm being redirected towards something better. So there's a misalignment in either part. Either it's the thing or either it's me and my own heart. So knowing this, I can sit and I can meditate and be mindful, ask myself, where am I out of alignment? And then I can let go and say, all right, I'm open to the surprise. I'm open to see how source is going to realign myself with either my job, my career, or my relationship.
Wow, those are great tips. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, good. We got
Perfect.
relief, hopefully. So, yeah, those are great tips. And do you suggest those 4 ways, those 4 possible outcomes? Do you suggest writing those down as well, or just saying them to yourself?
I do. I like to write. I prefer writing because when we think, sometimes we'll edit ourselves. We'll start to say, well, no, well, this. We have that 2 voice. When you write, you want to write without stopping, with no editing. You write stream of consciousness without stopping, and you just pour out whatever comes up, all your fears. Well, what's the worst thing that can happen? Write it all out. Then what's the best thing that can happen? Write it all out. And that will clear up the mental clutter and the emotional clutter.
Right.
We have a lot of emotion tied to our fears and our judgments, and those are based on past experience, usually not the experience that's happening to us right now. So you want to put those fears you want to tame them down, give them a voice, honor them, and then let them go.
Oh, yes, just let it go in the sea there. Excellent, Carole, so
With
wonderful.
the outgoing tide.
Absolutely, yes. So do you have a last story you would like to share with us as we wrap up?
I would just like people to remember that whatever it is that's happening in their life, there's always a way to sail above the clouds. And that is really, the clouds are the problems. There's always the sun upward. Look for ways to rise above and just sail above the clouds.
Excellent. So I just encourage the women to go pick up your book. And it sounds like you have some humor in there, some great exercises, some amazing stories. It's just so wonderful to have you join us here today, Carole. So if the ladies would like to connect with you, how can they do that?
They can log on to sailabovetheclouds.com. And all the information is there. They can also read the first 2 chapters for free.
Excellent. So wonderful. So we do have some ladies visiting. We have Kathy. Kathy, good to have you here with us, and Deborah Trapin. They're saying wow to some of your stories, which are your shark story. And we have some other ladies here with us too. So good. Ladies, let us know where you're coming from today. Carole is from Maine. I am here on the West Coast on Whidbey Island. And Carole, it has just been a joy to have you visit with us today. And everyone just go have a fabulous day. So we'll see you next time at Fave Lifestyles.
It's great to have you guys. Thanks for watching, everybody.